What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our not very first episode, but because we did the pilot, but the pilot did so well. I'm back here. I have a topic to talk about here. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. I'm just going to be talking about the 2023 Supercross season because I feel like there's some things. I didn't even realize it, but I did race recaps back in the day. I was watching them back, and they were pretty good. So we're just going to smash it into a podcast format. This might be a little bit shorter, even though we're going to be talking about a little bit of World Supercross. That's coming up this weekend as well. Honestly, I don't know much about that other than maybe the riders who are racing it. So we'll save that here. Or I don't know. Let's talk about the main why you guys probably clicked on this video or this pod. This is a podcast, guys, and this gameplay is only background for the pod because at the moment I have the Spotify podcast app, but of course my phone's doing that weird thing because what I do is I come into this normal podcast, screen record it, and then convert it to MP3, and then I would put it on to the app or Spotify. So eventually these will be on Spotify. I will let you know when it is. Hopefully we can get this one. This will be the first one up on Spotify. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for the support on the pilot. I did not expect it to crack 100 views that quickly. I believe it's sitting at 104, which normally that would be like a failure. But I feel like I got messages on Twitter, I got people just saying, hey, they really enjoyed it, and they're excited for what this holds. So I was just sitting there, like I said, scrolling my old YouTube videos, and I found out that I was doing the race recaps. Honestly, had no idea. So I said, and I stopped it around Indy, so I said, how about I just talk about 2023 Supercross, just my thoughts on it, and because I saw some things towards the end of the season, especially after what happened at Denver, and of course we'll get into it here. Just some things happened, and a lot of people, I'm going to try not to grind my teeth here. Sorry about that if you heard that weird noise. Anyway, there was some things that happened towards the end of the season that led people to say some things, and maybe it's because I'm a Chase Sexton homer, and anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to clear up some things here, talk about what I think going forward in the future, especially with what we see Jet Lawrence doing at the moment. I'm not going to do, maybe I will, a little RedBud preview because news broke, and honestly, I'm waiting to confirm it. Chase is going to be back for RedBud. That's what I hear. I've DM'd Chase personally, and haven't gotten a response back. But he's pretty good. He's pretty good with that kind of stuff. But things that we have confirmed: Daxton Bennick's going to make his debut this weekend at RedBud. Jason Anderson, Seth Hammaker coming back. Justin Cooper, thankfully, is okay after that crash at High Point. And who else? Jordan Smith is out, and Chance Hymas is out. So that's your little RedBud update there. I hope we get Chase back this weekend, but once again, like I said last in the pilot, we will go on these tangents sometimes. So that's your little RedBud preview there. And now let's get into the main talking point that I wanted this pod to be about, and that is 2023 Supercross. Now, I know, like I said a few minutes ago before I went on a tangent, I know a lot of people said, oh, Chase doesn't 250 wise, there's nothing to say there. Congratulations, Hunter Lawrence. That was pretty cool to see at Nashville. But I know 450 wise, because that's the big talking point right now. A lot of people are going to say Chase got that handed to him because the two guys that were clearly faster than him were out at Salt Lake City, and Eli tore his you-know-what at Salt Lake City. Cooper got that concussion at Nashville. Chase was doing all he could do, and I gave him credit. He didn't just give up at the end after thousands of and I mean thousands of crashes. That's not even an exaggeration there. Thousands of crashes. And honestly, Chase earned that title. All these people out here saying that Chase was not the fastest guy. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. It's funny. Every year, I feel like we say, "Oh, the fastest guy didn't win the championship." Blah blah blah. I heard it a lot during Cooper Webb's years. Eli, 2020, yes, you could say he was the fastest guy. I won't argue that one. 2022, I would say Jason was the fastest guy, but Jason also wasn't that smart at times. Sorry if you're listening to this, Jason. Sorry. I know you're probably going to see my advertisement for it. Anyway. And obviously with Dungey's titles, we never stood there and said he was the fastest guy, other than maybe 2016. It's funny, you guys complain every year that the fastest guy doesn't win the title. When will the fastest guy win the title? Chase Sexton was the fastest guy this year. Or you could even say Chase was the fastest guy in 2022. Just couldn't put it together. But Chase was the fastest guy in 2023. And I will say, with a little help, tiny bit of help here, he did win this title as the fastest guy, had the most fastest qualifiers. But my point to that is, it feels like everybody was saying, like the fastest guy won the title, and now we want to be, now we want to hate on it. That's kind of the vibe I got after Denver. Was, well, now the most consistent guy. This guy's had so many crashes. You know, I'm not arguing that. He had thousands of crashes, like I said. Thousands of crashes. And he's all of a sudden going to be a champion? How does that work? Well, you got to be in it to the end. And honestly, it's a shocker that he made it to the end with all those crashes. But he cleaned it up. I feel like Atlanta was huge for him to win that race. To lead it start to finish. That was absolutely massive. That actually might have won him the championship there. But anyway, like I said, Atlanta might have won him the championship there. Of course, East Rutherford, I'm not even going to count that because that was a mutter and Barsha got in his way. And I actually watched that pass again today, and it didn't look as bad. But then he came out, Nashville, Denver, Salt Lake City, did what he had to do. And now we can talk about it. First off, let me touch on Cooper Webb real quick. Cooper honestly had to be kicking himself after Denver. But Cooper, like we saw, hit his head. Well, he didn't hit his head. He just tipped over in a corner, and Adam Cianciarulo accidentally ran him over. And I say accidentally because I'm in a few Facebook groups, right? So in Facebook, it just seems like you just get all the dumb people who are new to the sport and just don't understand it. They really don't. Just some of the stuff that they say in Facebook groups, if you ever are on it, is that it's just terrible. They're terrible takes. Like, I know if you're watching this, if you're coming from Twitter and you're watching this, you know I have some bad takes on Twitter. Very bold, very bold. Like, Deegan's going to go 1-1 this weekend at RedBud, or something like that. And honestly, some of them I believe. And some of my hot takes I believe. And if you don't follow the Twitter, I will leave it in the description below. But they don't compare. My hot takes on Twitter do not compare to the hot takes I see on Twitter. And one of them, let me close my door real quick. Sorry, guys. Amateur hour here, what the hell. Anyway, so about this Cooper Webb incident, something that I saw something the week before. I just can't remember what it was. I saw something really stupid. Oh, I saw something really stupid at East Rutherford. This guy had a conspiracy theory that they planned the thunderstorms at East Rutherford, which, by the way, East Rutherford, those thunderstorms and those cancellations, those delay, I've never seen anything like that at a Supercross. I don't think it's ever been done in a Supercross. Canceled because of lightning, and anyone that was pissed off at it, how would you like it if Jet Lawrence was going down a straightaway and he got struck by lightning? Exactly, they got to do it for safety. Anyway, so I saw this guy on Facebook, right? He had this conspiracy theory that they planned the thunderstorms because if you remember, Eli Tomac did have a crash in practice and banged up his knee. Thankfully, his knee was okay, and he came back, got second that night. But I saw somebody, like I said, on Facebook say, well, they planned that thunderstorm so Eli could rest up and just dumb things. Usher people out of the stadium so they don't see that they fix the gates to where Eli gets a good start. Just dumb, stupid things like that, you know? So, and then the next week in Nashville, we saw, unfortunately, Cooper Webb get ran over by Adam. And then I go on Facebook, I think the next day, and somebody, the same guy, same person, had this conspiracy theory that Adam could easily hit the brakes there, and he ran him over on purpose to help a former teammate win the championship. Just stupid things like that on Facebook. So Cooper Webb was a bummer, I gotta say, and just watching him get on that ambulance just was heartbreaking because he knew his title chances were over at that point. He wasn't going to race the last two at that point. So I think everybody, I know everybody was thinking, okay, Eli's just going to do what he can, manage here. I think he had like 18, 17 points on Chase at that point. 17 or 18. It was something like that going into Denver because Chase had tracked him down and Eli just let him go and said, hey, I'll take the points, which is smart. So Eli had 15 to 18 points on him going to Denver. I don't remember exactly, honestly. And then we go into Denver and Eli... Suzuki's at Denver were absolutely crazy. Suzuki's at Denver, man, especially that one heat race. Holy mackerel. But then we go in the main. Suzuki, I think it was Shane McElrath, gets the whole shot. And Eli gets him. And honestly, I was just thinking, because Chase was around that 6th, 7th spot, I was honestly thinking that, Chase was going to track him down, win, and Eli was just going to take the second. I know it's his hometown race, which, by the way, that stadium was crazy. I wasn't there, and thank God I wasn't because of what I'm about to talk about. But stories I've heard from the stadium, that place was nuts. And then it went quiet and I freaked out. I have to admit, I was holding back tears that night. Oh, just thinking about it, man. Oh, just thinking about it gets me a little emotional here. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so Eli's out front. I think he's got like 3 seconds or something like that. And it doesn't even... People would call that a mistake. I wouldn't call that a mistake. I don't even blame the Alpine Stars boot because some people were saying that he didn't have a buckle or strap. Alpine Star, okay. I know maybe Eli might have requested that strap or whatever, but Alpine Stars would not send a rider. They would never send a rider out on a track if they didn't think their boot was safe enough to go race. Now, Eli's situation is just a freak accident, and it really sucks, man. I just had a... Whew, sorry, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, because, I'll never forget the feeling of watching him roll around there and just going, no, what's going on? Like, I think we were all confused, and honestly, I thought he hurt his knee at first because if you remember 2022 Atlanta, he kind of busted his knee. I think he tore something in his knee actually, but it wasn't bad. It was good enough for him to still wrap the title. And he went on to win both titles in 22. But man, when I just knew it was over for him, and even with the bike issue, I thought it was kind of over for him because honestly, Chase was going to go out and win Salt Lake City too, which he did end up doing. But man, that was bad. Like I said, it didn't even look like a mistake. It just looked like he just flexed a little bit too hard, and your body doesn't. I mean, I'm 20 years old. I'm 30. Not 30. I'm like 10 years older than him, or 10 years older than him. What? Sorry, I'm 10 years younger than him. Almost to the day. I'm November 13th. He's the 14th. I can tell you right now, my body at 10 years old does not work the same as it does as a 20-year-old, and I can't even imagine 30-year-old. Like, your body just doesn't work the same the older you get. And it doesn't flex the same, and we saw that. That was a freak accident. It was not good. Not good. Anyway, so next week, Chase Sexton gets the title. And I know, mad respect to Lars Lindstrom and that whole Honda team at Denver. Like, you got to think, they knew. Chase, I mean, he's young. It's like 1 week you're like, oh, I'm just going for wins, just finish out the season strong. And it's like, in like a matter of split second, you're champion. Basically, like, Chase's mindset at the beginning of that Denver main event versus the end was completely different. Or at least when he found out what happened to Eli, because they did tell him there. But, like, mad respect to that team for not celebrating. They were probably like, cool, we won this race, great. But they weren't like, oh my god, we're going to break a, 20-year curse now? Because Carmichael won it in 03 with Honda, and they haven't won since. Man, I just have to say, man, that was a good season. But they did celebrate it. They did celebrate it next week, which was cool. It's always cool to see somebody get their first championship, especially Chase, who said to Honda when he signed with them in like 2020 that he would get him a championship before he left, and literally his last year he gets him a championship. It's pretty cool, man. But yeah, that was basically the 2023 Supercross season in a nutshell for me. I guess news that broke is that Cooper Webb is going to Star Yamaha. It sounds like that is confirmed already. That won't be announced officially until October 1st, but it does sound like it's confirmed, and a lot of people freaked out that, oh my god, Eli's retiring. I don't know, because maybe he is, but I just knowing Eli, he's not going to go out that way. If I was him, right, I would go out, try to win Daytona next year, and then call it. Like, go win, race only Daytona, win Daytona, and show on the podium go, that was a great career. That's honestly what I would do if I was Eli. And I'm trying to think of anything else from the season. No, the Lawrence brothers, that was a bummer. I mean, it was a bummer because we never... both of the Showdown broadcasts were just Jet and Hunter shoved down our throats of the Lawrence boys are going to battle tonight, and it really didn't happen, unfortunately. Cool to see Max Anstey finally get a Supercross win. And yeah, so Chase didn't get that title handed to him, obviously. He was the fastest guy all year. Yeah, he had 1,000 crashes, but still. That was a weird year, and man, the one thing I'll say about outdoors so far, I know we're probably going to get Chase back. I don't think Chase is going to Maybe he won't run that pace immediately, or maybe he will. Maybe he will. But honestly, I don't think he will. But wouldn't be surprised if we get another Fox Raceway 450 Moto 2 at RedBud this weekend. I don't. It's just a bummer, man, that Eli's not in outdoors right now. It really is. Because Jet will not be even close to 8-0 or whatever it is if Eli was here. Even if Chase stayed in it, he wouldn't be 8-0 or whatever. I thought I thought Jet was gonna be beat by Kenny there at High Point. That didn't happen. So yeah, that's basically the podcast here. Oh yeah, that's right. I was supposed to talk about World Supercross. That's right. World Supercross this weekend. Yay. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me to see the World Supercross numbers be more than the outdoor numbers. Just because a lot of people haven't been going to the outdoor season this year, and I mean, do I blame them? It's just the Hunter and Jet show right now, which is a really big bummer. Like I said, that Eli is not there. If Eli was there, the outdoors would be way more crowded. Now, this is the only time I've been to Hangtown this year, but I could tell you that was the least crowded Hangtown I've seen. But yeah, that's basically the podcast here. That's really all. Oh, World Supercross. Sorry, guys. Keep forgetting. But yeah, World Supercross. I gotta look at the full rider list. I'm not sure who's really racing it. I know Kenny. People get on Kenny for running the number 1 plate because it's 2 years. Or not 2, I'm sorry. They only had 2 rounds this last year. Like, stop getting on the guy. Like, who knows? This could be his only chance to run the number 1 plate at a Supercross or Pro Motocross. Well, he ran it in 15, but still, this could be his only shot to run the number 1 plate in a Supercross event. So, like, stop getting on the guy. I understand why he's doing it. Yeah, honestly, Ken Roxon, and if Anstey is racing 250s, which I believe he is, Roxon and Anstey for me are the favorites for both classes to win this weekend and to win the championship we get. So the French GP was canceled, unfortunately, but we're going to Abu Dhabi. Don't roast me if I said that wrong, I'm sorry. But we're going to Abu Dhabi here in November, so it's like we have like round 1 and like 3 months off, and then we really start. I don't understand that. But November 4th and 5th, we're going to Abu Dhabi, and that's gonna be cool, man. Like, I'm gonna follow this series as closely as I can. It'll probably end up being like the GPs, because the GPs I only watch highlight videos, which the GPs right now are actually getting really good. I know not for the 450 title, but for the 250 title, it's all over the place. I really want to go back and look at points, see how far down Lucas Coonan is, because that boy could come back and win the title here if he just keeps going 1-1. And as far as I know, those Coonan brothers are coming to the United States. I'm not sure. People can let me know down in the comments if you make it this far into the pod. I'm not sure. Is Lucas or Sasha the older brother? I believe it's Lucas. But yeah, Lucas Coonan in Twetchental, that was an absolute heartbreak. I remember being at church looking at my phone and just, kind of like the Eli thing, I was almost in tears at church. But hey, he came back 2 weeks later and finally got that 1-1. That boy is rolling right now. I don't know what the hell is going on with his brother right now. I don't know. Actually, no, I shouldn't say this because he's coming off a wrist injury. Bummer for Yago Geertz, by the way. Dominating the first half. I feel like he was dominating. I mean, he wasn't completely like Jet Lawrence 450s right now dominating, but he was controlling the point. And basically, his season's over. Like, I don't think he's going to come back and win this championship. That would be an absolute shock if he does. I think this is coming down to a Adamo, and depending on how far Lucas Coonan is. I think it's coming down to those two in the last 7 rounds, I believe they have. I honestly don't know. But I believe it's coming down to them. And in the MXGP class, I mean, Hurlings was good. I don't care what you say. Jeffrey Hurlings was going to win this title had that not happened at Twetchental. That was an absolute shocker. Guy just has no luck. No luck. I believe he's going to come back and win a GP title, but good for Jorge Prado. He's going to get his 450 title. I don't remember exactly how many 250 titles he has. But, yeah, that's basically our podcast here. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. I promise this will all be out on Spotify at some point in the near future. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1 of the Coffee Moto Pod. That's, as you can see, that's the name I came up with. I literally came up with it in the pilot episode. In the middle of that, I said, hey, coffee, I like that. And I'm actually drinking it right now as I record. So yeah, Coffee Moto Pod is what I'm calling it. It just rolls off the tongue right. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoy your day. If there's any topics you want me to talk about in the future, in future episodes, I'm not sure how often I'm going to do these. I might do a little one to recap RedBud plus other news stories in the future, like next weekend or something, because we are going racing at RedBud. And by the way, I guess I could just pick winners for RedBud. 250 class. Y'all are going to jump on me for this, but I'm going to go Hayden Deegan. I think Deegan is the one that could beat. I normally, if Justin Cooper rode High Point, I would say Justin Cooper, but I just don't know where he is, even though I literally just saw him an hour ago that he is racing. I just don't know where he is because did y'all see that mark down his chest? Ooh, that was bad. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go Hayden Deegan for the overall. I think he wins the first moto, and I mean, at this point, if the patterns continue to go how they go, he's going to have to go 1-1. But remember him in the Moto Combine last year here at this track at RedBud. That was crazy. He just dominated everybody. It's a little bit different. Plus, we get the track changes. That'll be cool. The old fast start is back. That is the one thing that I think can kill Jet Lawrence's undefeated streak if he gets caught up in one of those. We're gonna see a Hangtown 450 Moto 2 type pile up. I just hope nobody gets hurt in that. 450s, I'm just gonna have to go the easy, safe bet. Jet Lawrence 1-1 again. I just don't think Chase is gonna come back and challenge him. I mean, he may challenge him, but I don't know, man. Chase ain't the best at RedBud, and Jet kinda is good at RedBud. So I'm just gonna go Hayden Deegan, Jet Lawrence for the overalls this week. If you have any questions or, like I said, topics that you want us to talk about on the pod, or me, because I don't have a co-host, just let me know down in the comments below. If you're enjoying it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for new episodes. Like I said, I'm not sure how often I'm going to do these. I'm going to do these as long as I have enough topics to talk about. And yeah, thank you for listening to another episode here of the Coffee Moto Pod. Sorry for dragging this out. I will see you next episode, or you'll hear my voice next episode. Bye-bye.